Hello, degenerate old schoolers, and welcome back to another episode of The Orb. Tonight we have an Xpoints match. My opponent's Neil. He has the Abu Jafar playmat with some awesome artwork on it. And even more incredible than that Abu Jafar playmat is his deck. It's wild. We're going to take a look at it in just a second. When you get a chance, hit the thumbs up on the video, leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Now here's a look at Neil's deck. And here's a look at Neil's deck. Starting with the top left, we have Instilled Energy. I think everyone here knows what it does. It gives any creature that you have in an extra untapped sequence whenever you so choose during your turn. Which is awesome. I think I've looked at this card and thought, oh, this card can do things. And then, lo and behold, I don't have the balls to put something together. Neil's got something together, so it starts off with the Instilled Energy. And then he's adding in Psionic Entity, which has some of the most badass artwork. I remember seeing it when I was young and thought, wow, that's awesome. And then for some reason that stuck in my head. That was just Sonic Blast for a little while. Anyways, this artwork is fantastic. Taps, it deals 2 damage to any target, but 3 damage back to itself. So it's self-detonating. It's a 2/2, which doesn't make him particularly powerful or tough. And he cost a blinding 5 to cast, 4 colorless and 1 blue. So he's a little tough to deal with, but the artwork says, I'm a bad motherfucker. Let's play. And then he adds in another piece of the puzzle. And here's the third piece to this great trifecta. It's Web. He uses Web or Aspect of Wolf. Web, target creature gets +0/+2 and can now block flying creatures, even though it doesn't gain the power to fly. So Psionic Entity is now a 2/4, so when it taps, it doesn't suicide itself. And if you think a 1/1 Timmy that's dealing 1 damage is a pain in the ass, imagine something that can throw 2 or 4 damage out of turn without even having to attack. So I love this grouping. Let's take a look at the rest of the deck that goes along with this fantastic combo. So for mana ramp, he has Wild Growth, 3 of them in the main deck. He also is running 4 Birds of Paradise, and 3 of his points are used on his Soul Ring. 21 other lands with 2 Pendlehaven to pump his 1/1 critters. Scavenger Folk to eat away at artifacts. He's got 2 Enchantresses in here, Verdurn Enchantresses, because he does play with, well, a fair amount of enchantments. What a draw engine. Sylvan Library to dig through his deck. Regrowth to pick up whatever he's lost. I mean, this deck has got to be a nightmare for a white weenie or a green weenie deck or a red goblins deck. I mean, even a mono black, they're throwing out Black Knights and Pump Knights, and Prodigal Sources are just out there murdering these folks. Tracker is out there tracking them down and killing them. They don't stand a chance. So I'm so excited. I can't wait to see this deck run. Let's take a quick look at my deck. Here's a look at my Xpoint monthly deck. I want to win with Sarah's, Urnums, and Trikes, Triskelions. So I can shoot things down too. His deck just can shoot more things. I mean, my Triskelion becomes a little ineffective when he's out there dealing, 2 a swipe with an Instill Energy on there. Now it's 4 a turn. That's terrifying. I do ramp up though with Llanowar Elves. I have 3 Birds of Paradise to help power out some of these expensive creatures. 2 Wrath of God to clear the board in case my opponent goes wide in the beginning. I also have 3 deserts down there. Same deal, to take off little creatures. Just pick them off or deal that last point of damage. 4 Swords to Plowshares, 4 Disenchants, all good white removal have to have. 3 Sylvan Libraries to dig. 2 more books to dig, Jameday Tomes. I do have 2 reincarnations to bring back, a Sarah Angel or a Triskelion or Ernie that's gotten beaten down and thrown to the bin. So let's just get off to these games. And here we go with game number 1. My opponent had to take 2 mulligans, which that's kind of terrifying. He's going to lead with 5. Or start with 5. I lead with a Savannah and a pass. He plays out an island. There we go, I have a desert. But little do I know that his deck is not worried about attacking. Tapping 2 for a Chaos Orb. Guess I just sneak it out. Maybe I want to see if he has a counterspell in hand. I am up 2 cards on him, so that always gives you confidence. He taps his city and goes to 19. And here we go. He plays out a tracker. Bad news for him. Minus my mana ramp creatures. And really, I mean, that is 7 slots. I have 4 Llanowar Elves and 3 Birds of Paradise. That tracker is just gonna go on a murder spree if I play anything out. But he's gonna have a tough time dealing with the Sarah Angel and Urnham. Here we go, he's sending Tracker sideways, and I have an immediate answer for Tracker. Swords to Plowshares. Give my opponent 2 life. Tell the Tracker to piss off. So Neil sneaks out Birds of Paradise. Ooh, looks like I'm activating my orb, moving my drink. And here's the flip. Oh, clean rotation, but it is ugly. I mean, I'm covering like 3% of that card. Doesn't matter, it's the 3% that counts. Birds of Paradise is a goner. I know because my opponent started with 2 less cards. Answering 1 for 1 is fine at this point. Okay, ramping deals himself another damage by tapping for green. Lays down a wild growth on his island, and look, he needs more mana. He picks back up a Birds of Paradise with a regrowth. He uses a point to get a Birds of Paradise back. Ooh, I tap 4 and slam down Urnham. Urnham Jin. That's going to be a problem for him. I also have a factory that I played out. Probably a second problem for him. Opponent lays down a forest with a gigantic magic mushroom on it. I like it. Maybe it's just a normal mushroom. It's a giant growing in the forest. He also runs down a scavenger folk. Wow, let's see if Brass has done some work for him. Done some work for me. I think he used it about 4 times. He plays out a Verduran Enchantress. I love this. Once he finds some enchantment cards, he's going to get a draw engine going. And old school, even a couple extra cards drawn can mean the game. I'm sending Urnum in. And Factory, okay. Problems and problems. So, you know, only 6 though. I mean, he's on 18. Yeah, going down to 12. He's got a couple turns before he has to start throwing, you know, another turn or two before he has to start throwing bodies. Oh no. I go ahead and swords his Enchantress. That sucks. I love Enchantress. I was hoping he'd draw at least a card with it. But it's a serious threat. Okay, Birds of Paradise. He regrew that. Still has 2 in hand and just passing again. Yeah. Looks like I'm not sending the Factory in, just the Urnum. I don't want the Scavenger folk to turn around and eat the Factory, which I'm sure will happen. He's tapping 3 for Sonic Blast. Deals 4 to my Urnum. Oh, there we go. Okay, he's blocking with Scavenger folk. Okay, 2 for 1. You know, that's not a great feeling. Tapping 4 for another Urnum. Ouch. Looks like I still have... It says 5 cards in hand. I may be down to 4. He taps 3 for a Prodigal Sorcerer. Timmy's on the board. And Timmy doesn't do great work against Urnum. He's more of just a speed bump. Urnum's driving a big rig, an 18-wheeler, and Timmy's just there to lay in the road, unfortunately. Looks like my big rig just plowed through a truckload of birds. Yeah, Sylvan Library. Okay, I still have 20 life. My opponent's down to 10. This game is not looking in his favor. He needs something to kill off the Urnum. And to take back, you know, control of the game. Okay, he's going to 6. Oh, tapping 5 for a Sarah Angel. Yep. Not looking good. Now he needs, you know, Timmy can block the Urnum, but I really can come with the Factory. I mean, this is it. He needs to do something this turn. He's tapping 3. Ooh, Aspect of Wolf. He's only got 2 forests. And a web. Oh. Okay, so he gets, Timmy becomes a 2/2 with Aspect of Wolf, and then now he gets pumped at 2/4 and can block flying creatures with the web. Too bad he doesn't have a few more forest out. I mean, he could have just shut off my attack if he was just a hair bit bigger. Oh, brutal. Swords to Plowshares. I mean, that's a 3 for 1. And I come in for the kill. I can deal 10 damage. He gains 2 life off that deal, goes to 8. Too many big creatures. Too many big creatures. I'd love to see a matchup of his deck against a white weenie deck, like I mentioned before. I think he's going to shred through them. Well, let's get off to game number 2. And here we are with game number 2. I took game number 1. Sarah Angel, Urnham Jin, in for the win. Bad news for me is I now have to mulligan down 2 cards and am leading with 5. Opponent starts off with a Soul Ring, which is a good start. I do a Savannah into a Birds of Paradise, so we're both ramping up a little bit here, trying to get the mana to get our pieces together. Nice play. He taps 2 for a Sylvan Library. He's going to be digging deep here next turn. I say, fuck off. I have a Sylvan of my own. I want to look through my library. He gets to go first. Picks up 3 extra. Rearranges cards how he sees fit. Taps 3 for a Timmy. Oh, Timmy's good. Scavenger Folk, also good. So now his Timmy can murder my Birds of Paradise next turn. Get to take a walk through my own library. I take an extra card here. Go to 16. I do that after I noticed, I noticed last game he was slow to get everything together, so, or his deck is slow to develop everything it needs to start dealing damage. Look at this, tapping 4. Tsunami. Wiping out 2 islands. That is brutal. Looks like I swapped the land destruction plan on my sideboard. Opponent grabs a forest and goes to bird murdering. Well done, Timmy. Well done. Timmy decided he wanted chicken for dinner, and he kills the Birds of Paradise, eats it, throws its bones in the garbage. And he plays a birds on his own side. And he cracks out my Soul Ring. Look at this. Okay, he's setting me back. He denies me of 2 different mana sources right after I denied him of 2 mana sources. And look at this. I'm taking another card again. I've paid 8 life, I guess. Dealt 8 damage to myself. I'm down to 12, I guess is what I'm getting at. My opponent's still sitting on 20. Regrowth. Soul Ring. Okay, I spent a point to get my 3-point card back. Yeah, Soul Ring is and can be a game changer. I mean, both of our decks require. Mine really starts off at 4 with the Urnham, 5 with the Sarah, and 6 with the Trike. His Psionic Entity is 5 to cast. Okay, he finds another island. Another Scavenger Folk. Wow, he does not like my Soul Ring being around. Passes back to me. Take a walk through my library. Oh my goodness. Taking another card. I am getting greedy. That's 3 cards taken, 12 life paid. Tapping 6, Triskelion. Okay. Trike shows up with his machine gun and just starts blasting. Look at this. Murdering assholes from left to right. And he shoots back. Timmy fires one off right back into Trike. Timmy sends Trike into the bin with a tap on his way out the door. But nonetheless, it was still a 3-for-1. I've paid 12 life to catch back up. I guess the first 8 life was just getting even with the double mulligan. Oh, here we go. Sonic Entity 2/2, 5 to cast. Badass artwork, in case we didn't talk about that. I know we did, because that artwork is insane. Taps to deal 2 damage, but hurts itself for 3. So, I mean, I gotta be to the point about now where I have to quit drawing extra cards with the Sylvan. I don't have a way to gain life unless I swords my own creatures. Looks like I'm tapping a relatively large amount of mana. Yeah, 5 for a Sarah Angel. What a pain in the ass for my opponent. He is on 16 though. Hurricane would be really good for him right now. Got enough to spend it out there, take down the Angel, cut my life in half. Oh, Sonic Blast, okay. That takes care of the Angel. Drops him to 14. Aspect of Wolf. Okay. So he's pumping this guy up. He goes from 2/2 to 3/3. I send my Llanowar Elves out there to step in front of the angry entity coming at me. I'm tapping 4 though for an Urnum. And sending my factory in for 2. Ouchie. That puts him down to 12. So, Sonic Entity now has Forest Walk. He's a 3/3. I mean, that puts me on 3 turns, but I can come in for 6 a turn, meaning he only really has 2 turns left. And he just passes. I don't know. I might have gone in for the 3, but he knows what he has in his hand. He knows how to play his deck. I don't. I do keep the factory back, so that does hold me off. He takes less damage. He's tapping 3 for a Sonic Blast and a block, so it's a 3-for-1. That's kind of devastating. He's having a hard time dealing with these Urnums. Wow. I mean, he dealt 7 damage back to the Urnum. But he loses, 3 cards in the process of killing off my Urnum Jin. And here we go, Tranquility. Okay. He's out of cards. I think I lined up my next cards. I have a Mishra's Factory on board. I don't want him to be able to dig They can use life to get card advantage. I'm down to 8. He's on 10. He plays a Viduran Enchantress. Okay, so now he has a draw engine back on board. I come in for 2 with Mishra's Factory. Puts him on 8. Here we go. Tap 4 for an Urnum. Another Urnum. What a problem. Opponent taps 5 for a Sonic Entity. Man, I really want to see these things do some awesome work. I think I just have too many, big creatures coming after them. Yeah. I send my Urnum in. He throws a body in front of it. It's his Enchantress. Doesn't take any damage. He goes to 8. Now he's seeing, the first new card from when a Sylvan went away, and it's an island. That's no help. Take 1. Still shoving Urnum down his throat. And he takes 4, goes down to 4 life. Passes back to me. He's going to have to block this turn. I take 1, throw down Plains. More Urnum Gin for dinner. Entity blocks. And look at this. He does another 2 damage to me. I'm down to 6. Tapping 2. Oh no, tapping 1. He's ramping. But not what he needs. So I can come in for 6 with my Urnum in my factory. Neil, great games. A+ on deck making. I would love to see this deck kicking some ass. I know it's done it before. I wish I could watch a White Weenie match up against this deck. Thanks for watching The Orb. Have a good night.